We are back for another video of coins that I picked up from my favorite local coin shop in his 25-cent bin. This is part 2 of that video. We've already seen in part 1 we had this was a $13 pickup of 52 coins. We looked at the first 26 in that video, and we're going to keep it going here. We're going to start with some coins from the Czechoslovakia Federal Republic. I believe that was the name of it. So for a couple of years after Czechoslovakia was no longer a socialist country in the early 90s, they did stay together for a couple more years before Czech and Slovakia became separate countries. And during that time, they made a series of some coins that we're going to take a look at. Let's go ahead and zoom in here. First of all, let's take a look at the back here. This one is a 10 Korunas, or 10 Korun coin from 1990. And so this is, when you see CSFR, that was from this brief period where it was the non-socialist, but Czech and Slovakia were still together. And so we've got this shield on the back, 10 Koruna, and then they showed one of the heroes of the country. This is going to feature Tomas Masaryk, who was the first president of Czechoslovakia. So I guess going back to the 1930s for that. This one is KM 139.1. There is a variety here where the initials of the engraver show up here at the very bottom with this MR. In the tougher to find version of this coin, his last name is spelled out instead of just as his initials. So that is the first of this set. They were probably going to keep this set going for many years, but the country only lasted for about 3 or 4 years as it was here. But this is the second coin of the series. Another 10 Korun featuring Milan Stefanik. The back of this coin is essentially the same as the first one. That one was KM 153. And by the way, all three of these are going to have a book value of $2. This one is the third and final coin of this series. This one features Eloise Racine. And I'm probably not pronouncing these names right, but the third important person featured on this series. Again, the back on this one is the same. KM 159. So I'm going to have a running tally of the value of all the coins from this $13 pickup. In the first video, we had a $9 coin from a Japanese puppet state in China, as well as a couple of silver coins that were worth what I paid for the entire lot. So anything after that, it's almost like we're playing with house money, I guess. So I did pick up a couple of coins that don't have that much of a book value, but I still thought were important to me. This one is from Ecuador. It's 1963. This one's going to be a 50 centavos coin. And a lot of these Ecuadorian coins I just don't see as often as a lot of other South American countries. I know I have the modern coins, but some of these from the 70s and older I just don't see as often. Even if it doesn't have a high book value, I like to pick them up when I see things like this. This one's going to be KM 81. We're going to move to a coin from Iraq. This one is a 10 reals coin. The year at the bottom, if you, it took me a while to get good at reading Arabic, so the one looks the same. That's a 0, that dot. This is a 3 because it looks like a backward 7, but you have 3 points at the very top. The 2 is like that, but with only a left and a right, not a middle point. But they have a couple of digits there in the Persian area that are different Arabic numbers than a lot of the rest of the Middle East. And so we're going to see that here with these two numbers right here. They almost look like sort of like a sideways 4. But that is the Persian way of making the number 6. So this year on their calendar is 1366. On our calendar, that's 1987. Flip this one over. And so we do have a wreath of flowers surrounding this one, but it is a lot of Arabic I am not able to read. But this one is KM 1235.2. The point 2 means it has a redesigned wreath, and I couldn't tell the difference, but you can tell based on the date, which is why I wanted to make sure I got the 1366 right. We're going to move to a coin from France with this 2 francs coin from 1944. It's one of those things where now that I see it on YouTube all zoomed in, you can see every single scratch that's on this aluminum coin. But for this, this was pretty easy to find as a 1 franc coin. Similar but smaller, still has the grain and the hammer on it. But I will say that I don't know that I've ever noticed the detail on the sword here. If you look, there are stars actually on the handle of this, so you can see some ridges, and I've just never noticed that level of detail on the 1 franc before. So this is a coin from World War II, and it is normally not one that I see in good condition. So this one has a book value of $3.50. So we're starting off pretty strong in the book value here. We're going to move to a coin from India. This one's going to be a modern coin. We'll start with the value here where it says 10 rupees. And I did have a bimetallic 10 rupee coin, but this one is a 1-year commemorative coin featuring at the words in English at the bottom, Platinum Jubilee, with the date of 1935 to 2010. So this must have been when they were no longer under the rule of the British. I'm not sure if that's correct or not, but that's what I think is going on here. And so Platinum Jubilee is the 75th anniversary. Or maybe it's just the 75th anniversary of the Reserve Bank of India, because that just doesn't sound right that the British were gone in 1935. So maybe I need to brush up on my history a little bit. But this one is KM 388, and this one books for $2.50. And while we're talking about Jubilee anniversaries, we've got a Canadian 1 cent coin here. This side looks like every other Canadian 1 cent. We flip it over, and instead of just one date on this coin, we've got 2 dates there below the portrait of Queen Elizabeth, where it says 1952 to 2002. So this was the Golden Jubilee, or the 50th anniversary of the reign of Queen Elizabeth. So pretty easy coin to find, although I can't say that I've seen too many of them. But this one is KM 445. One more coin from Canada, just because I pick this up every time I find it in a quarter bin. We've got a Canadian dollar. If you've never seen one of these before, this is a Canadian loon, is the bird in the water here. So this coin has gotten the nickname of the Loonie, because this is the Loonie when they came out with the $2 coin. Even though it's got a polar bear on it, that one's called the Toonie. This one is KM 186. Now we're going to move on to the stack of coins that I have up here. I've got 3 of these. When I found this in the bin, I didn't know what it was. I just realized that I didn't have any of these. I thought it was a new coin in my collection. I didn't think much of it. Maybe you can tell by looking that this is going to be a coin of Saddam Hussein. Now, I wouldn't say that any of these coins are particularly great shape, but yeah, I thought if I found one coin that had a pretty good, interesting look to it, I'd go ahead and get all 3 of them. But now that I'm home, I do realize that it is Saddam Hussein. I've seen a lot of Iraqi paper money that have Saddam Hussein on it. I've got a couple of them. They're very easy to find, even if they have a pretty good collector premium, just based, at least in America, based on how America won a war against him. But I didn't know that he appeared on any coins until I got home and took a closer look. So this coin was only made in 1980, and it celebrated the first anniversary of his rule. So perhaps he made some other coins, but I haven't seen him yet. This one is KM 146. We'll flip them over, and the year on here is 1980, and on their calendar it's 1400, so the backwards 3 is a 4. The value of the coin is 250, so their circle is actually a 5, and with the Arabic there, I cannot read any of it. So KM 146, in this condition, I'm going to say all three of those coins are going to book for $1. So in that first video, we had some Japan controlled areas of China. This is going to be a coin from Saarland. So this is an area that I didn't know about from history, but this is about the third time I've found a coin from Saarland. And so if you're not familiar with this area, after World War II, when Germany was divided into multiple areas, apparently part of the land that was bordering France was under a debate on who actually controlled the land. So for a short while, it became an autonomous country. That may have happened before World War II, but continued through and after World War II. But Saarland didn't last very long, and they only made coins there from 1954. So I think they made a 10, a 20, and a couple of larger denominations, and so they're pretty hard to find. So the denomination here is the 20 Franken, and I guess I don't know if they speak German or French there. Maybe with Zwanzig sounds like German, so I'm going to go with that. That's just a guess. This one's KM2, since there are not a whole lot of coins from there. This one's going to book for $1.75 in this condition. All of the Saarland coins look like this on the obverse, and I think one of the reasons it's disputed is it was a good area for coal mining between France and Germany, so that's why both countries wanted to have access to it. Now we're going to move to a coin from Argentina. This is essentially the Argentinian equivalent of Lady Liberty, which would appear on a lot of American coins. This one specifically is the 50 centavos coin from 1985. This was during the time that Argentina used the austral. So that was a currency that only lasted for about 6 or 7 years. 1985 was the first year of that coin system. So this one's KM74. We're going to move to the Netherland Antilles with this 2.5 cent coin. Fortunately, it does have a spot of corrosion on it. Netherland Antilles is was formerly known as just the country of Morocco, but now this is the name that it has given. So they use currency that was similar to regular Netherlands coins. This specific coin is KM9 from 1973. Eventually there was a 9A where this coin was made out of aluminum. Next we're going to look at a post-World War II coin from Poland. And this coin isn't very different from the way that 1 groszy coins look today. The difference is this one is from 1949, and to find it in, there's a lot of surface scratches, but I'd still say it's about pretty close to almost uncirculated here. Pretty good for an old aluminum coin. This was a 1-year coin, and so they did have a set of currency that only lasted for 1949. This one's KM number 39. This one's going to be a coin from Egypt, I believe the Arab Republic days. It's going to have a date of 1973 on the left. The V is a 7, an upside down V is an 8. Their calendar, that is 1393. Flip it over, and so they changed the look of their eagle a couple of different times, but this was, I believe, the version of the eagle that started in 1973 and lasted quite a while, with no stars on the shield and the head facing to the right. This one's KM 435. During the 90s, almost every coin from Spain was a one-year circulating commemorative. This one features Don Quixote, and that was a book that I never had to read in school, but I feel like as a school we put on a play of Don Quixote, and so I seem to recall them saying that he was chasing windmills, and there is a windmill on this 25 peseta coin from 1996. He was also the man from La Mancha, so this side features La Mancha. So we have a Don Quixote coin. KM 962. I have a coin from Morocco right here. Seems like even relatively recent Morocco coins are always found well worn, fine condition, or even worse. This one is a half dirham from our calendar 1987. There's 1407. At least this one is using our number system so we can read it. This one's going to be KM 87 and features the ruler of the day. One metal that you don't really find a lot of coins made out of is going to be tin, and so that's what we have on this coin from Thailand. I think they may have used it a little bit longer than a lot of other countries. Only other country I can think of that I might have a tin coin from is Japan, maybe. But this one is a 25 satang coin, and since I can't read the Thai language, I had to base that on the size of the coin. This one is going to feature King Rama the Eighth. This one is going to say on it, it's going to have a year of, on their calendar, 2489. And so on our calendar, that means 1946. But what Thailand did with a lot of their coins at this time was only print on it the first year that it was made. This was actually minted up to 1964. And so there's really nothing you can do to distinguish the oldest ones from the newest ones on it. So when you see that there is kind of a lump sum of all the coins minted in any year and they made maybe 50 million of these coins, they are not going to be particularly all that valuable. But what I did find interesting was it was a circulating coin of Rama the Eighth, which lasted for well after Rama the Ninth was ruling in Thailand for maybe even a couple of decades after he took over. But then when we come to this side, this is a deity in the Hindu religion by the name of Garuda, and so I've seen this. I think he's like a half man, half eagle. I don't know that much about Hindu, but I have seen this feature on several different Thailand coins. In the last video, I had a couple of silver coins from Austria, but this one, this time we have one more silver coin. I don't know if you can read that or not, but it says 50 kurus. This one is really well worn, so it's only worth the silver value, but this one's going to be from Turkey. Can't even tell which side is up, but that side is up. So on this 50 kurus coin from 1947, going to be KM 882. It is 60% silver, which means it has a silver weight of 0.0772 ounces. And today, with silver at $22 an ounce, this one has $1.80 worth of silver in it. And I didn't have this coin, so at least it's going to be a filler coin in my collection for now. When you look at Great British coins, we usually start with a penny, but there is something smaller than a penny. You also have half pennies, but if you have a quarter penny, that's called a farthing. This one is from 1904. These are not particularly rare. but finding them in anything other than, let's say, very good condition is pretty tough. And so this one's going to be an upgrade to my collection, especially when you have Edward VII on it. So I did have this coin, but my book said that I had it in very good condition, and so I'd say this one is at least that. This one is going to be KM 792, and since you don't find them in this decent condition very often, it's going to book for $3. Next, we're going to move to another aluminum coin. This one is going to be from the Vatican City. The small aluminum coin is going to be a 1 lira coin. Has a date on here of 1953, and in Italian it's Città del Vaticano. And has the word temperantia, I guess, on here. Maybe that's Latin, maybe that's Italian, I'm not sure. We flip it over here, and of course the leader of the Vatican City is the Pope, and so around this side it has Pius XII. Pont Max, I guess, is their name for the Pope, or Pontius. And then also it's going to say anno, which is year, 15. XV is 15. And so what a lot of the Vatican City coins do is not only does it have the calendar year of 1953, but it's the 15th year that Pius XII was the Pope. This one is Y49 in the catalog, books for $1.50. Here we have an El Salvador coin from 1974. I forget who this is, but he does appear on maybe Sucre. I don't remember for sure, but he does appear in a lot of the El Salvador coins for several decades. This brass coin is a 2 centavos coin, and when you look at the catalog, I see they made a 2 and a 3 centavos, but only for the year of 1974. So that is not a coin that was made for very long. This one's going to be KM 147. We're going to finish this video with a couple of transportation tokens. We're going to start with one that, if you're going to find a transportation token, this one might be the easiest one to find. It has NYC for New York City on here, and it is a subway token. It says good for 1 fare. Flip this one over, and it still has the NYC, but it says New York City Transit Authority on this coin. So there are versions of this coin where the letter Y is die cut out of it. You may have seen that one before, and so because it's a Y, you can flip it over and still the Y is still cut out of it. There's also an older version where it is a smaller token than this one. These were made from 1980 through 86, and so there is a coin catalog for transportation tokens that is called the Atwood Coffee catalog for coin tokens. There is you probably can't find it on Amazon for a good price. So if you want that, go to the website vecturist.com. A vecturist is someone who collects transportation tokens. In that catalog, this coin has a catalog number of NY for New York State, 630 AT. And it's hard to put a value on something like this. I set a quarter because that's what Numista says that it's worth. However, I will say I was specifically looking to buy one of these about a year ago from a transportation token collector or dealer. And he said, this is the one that everyone asks for. If you're going to ask for a token, you're going to start with this one. Now that I think about it, up here on the corner, up here, I have one with the Y cut out. So there you can kind of see them side by side. And I'll say the one on the left looks like it's in a lot better condition. A little bit darker color, but it is neat to see the Y cut out on that one. So that's one that I already had, and I've saved it off in the corner to make a future video. Then our final transportation token today is going to be something local. I am in the Nashville, Tennessee area, and this one has an N on it. So this one is from Nashville. It says good for one fare. Flip this one over. Southern Coach Lines, Inc. So this one is the bus company throughout several places in Tennessee, including Nashville. So this was one fare. They also made one for Chattanooga, Tennessee. That one's going to have the letter C die cut in the middle of it. In the Atwood Coffee catalog, this one is TN for Tennessee, 690J. This was made in 1945. And now that I think about it, I had another one with that last token that I had sitting on the shelf nearby. I even had a little bit of dust on it. Very similar. Apparently, Southern Coach Lines eventually changed their name to the Nashville Transit Company. But this one was when public school buses were used for school buses as well, maybe to get downtown to Hume Fogg School or something like that. So a couple of different compare before and after here. So just the stuff that I have sitting on the side over here. All right, so we have now gone through all of the coins from the last two videos. I paid $13 for these 52 coins, 4 for $1. And let's get a running total here. So in the first video had a book value of $29.40. As I said before, I'm not looking to make a huge profit on these. I just like keeping a running tally. This one has a value of $29.20. So it's funny how they are almost identical. So book value combined here is $58.60. So definitely happy with what I picked up in these in this time, and that happens every time I go to that store. Almost always, especially right now when the economy is not doing so good. A lot of people go into the shop to sell. That's when you can get some better bargains because inventory is starting to mount up, and you can get some better things out of there. It was 3 years ago or 2 to 3 years ago, everyone was trying to buy, and there was kind of slim pickings everywhere through the store. And so now everyone's trying to sell because the economy's a little bit rougher and people need the money, so they're selling off their coin collections. All right, thanks for watching. Bye.